Okay, this is the basic network troubleshooting for the Mac OS. The first thing we want to do is come down here to the bottom, and they call this the dock. On newer Macs, you'll see a square icon with gears in it. And on older Macs, you will see a square icon that looks like a white light switch. This is the system preferences. If we come up here to the top left-hand corner, you'll see an apple. It's always there. Click on that, and you will also see system preferences if it's not available within the dock. So go ahead and click on that. When that opens up, you'll see an icon, and right underneath it, it says network. We're going to click on that, and that should bring up your network preferences. Inside the system preferences, we'll see the airport connection and the Ethernet connection. We're going to touch on the airport first. You'll see that it's actually connected right now. You can turn it on and off, and at a quick glance, you can see the IP address. You can also see the SSID name that the airport is connected to. And SSID stands for Service Set Identifier. Okay, you can go down here on the bottom, and you'll see a check mark in this square. It says Show Airport Status in the menu bar. And on the top, you'll see the menu bar here and the signal strength of the airport. That's good there, because if you click on that and you hold your icon or your mouse cursor over top, it will keep refreshing and showing you any available networks around you. You'll see the check mark here shows that we are connected to this network, and that the little lock shows that it's has some sort of either WEP or WPA security enabled. If you want to know, WEP stands for Wired Equivalent Privacy, and WPA stands for Wi-Fi Protected Access. Just an FYI, customer asks you what that means. We're going to get out of that. Go down here to Advanced, and in Advanced you'll see the preferred networks. You can set up this list manually, or if you check this here, remember networks this computer has joined, it would automatically put it into this list. You can actually select this, and you can drag these in an order whichever you choose. TCP/IP is just like a Windows machine. You can do manually or DHCP, and DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. And that is where you would get your IP address automatically from a router or a server or whatever is set up in that location. Right now, this is our IP address, and this is the IP address of the router. If you want to connect to a router and you have no idea what the IP address of the router is, you will go into this location here, write down your IP address, and then go into Safari, which is available on all Macs. Load up Safari and type in your IP address of that router, and you will be brought to a login screen for your router, and then you can go into your router and configure your router the way you need to. DNS is Dynamic Name Server. That should be, you shouldn't have to touch anything there. It should automatically be configured by itself. WINS, you're not going to worry about WINS. I'm not even going to go into WINS. It's an old technology that Microsoft used to use. 802.11, we're not going to do anything, and with that, you can just leave that alone. Proxies, we're not going to use proxies because Comcast don't use proxies. And Ethernet, just leave that alone and go in there and use automatic. In regular Ethernet, if we were connected hardwired right now, you would see that it said connected, and it would, just like on the airport, it would give you an IP address right here. We're using DHCP. It's configured for DHCP by default. If for some reason you are in a customer's house and you can't get online, and you go in here and they have a IP address typed in there manually, I would suggest you just write it down and then go into select it and make it DHCP, and then see if you can grab an IP address and go on the internet. Just a troubleshooting tip. Go into the Advanced tab right there on the bottom, And DHCP again is using DHCP right now. If you want to define to see if renew your IP, you can click on renew IP if you change the router or you took a router out and put a modem in, or vice versa. DNS, like I said, we'll leave that alone. Wins, 802.11 proxies, I'll leave those alone. On Ethernet, this is a big one. I did this to myself also. It should be set to automatic. If you want to set it, if you go into a customer's house and it's set manually, and it's on, like what I have happened to me is I put it on 1,000 base T because I have a gigabit network at home, and when I moved my laptop and took it to a customer's house and they only had 100 base T network, which is the standard, I couldn't get online, or it actually said my network cable was unplugged. It's searching for 1,000 gigabit. If it's not available, it won't let you go online. So the best thing for you to do is just let it go automatic and configure itself. Okay, I'm going to get out of here, and then we're going to move on to the hard drive. The hard drive icon right here is where you're going to access your applications and everything like that. So we're going to double click on that, open up that. You'll see right here in the main screen application. It's the application folder. Over here on the left hand side is the application. That's a shortcut. They're both the same thing. They both go to the same place. So if you click on that, scroll down to the bottom, you'll see utilities folder. We're going to double click on that, and then you'll see a network utility application. Double click on that application and then click on the ping tab. And in the ping tab, you'll notice that you can put any IP address or a URL for a website. So you can put on yahoo.com, google.com, or comcast.net, whatever you choose. I always use Yahoo because they're pretty reliable. I would select the unlimited number of pings, so you can run a ping test. Let it run for a couple minutes, see if you have any packet loss, see if you have any latency, where you see this number here, it would jump up to over 100. Sometimes you'll actually see it go to 1,000, or it just does not respond. And that's where you would go from websites would go page to page, and then they would go slow from page to page because you have latency or timeouts. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that. That's it. That's all you can. That's all you do on a Mac. If you're troubleshooting a Mac, there is nothing that you can do on a Mac. Comcast does not have any kind of wireless network cards or Ethernet adapters that work. We don't have anything that's supported for Mac. If the only thing you can do is get a laptop, either from your supervisor or a lead, and do a test with your laptop, connect it directly to a modem to verify that the modem is configured properly. It's not in wall garden or something like that. And that's it. Otherwise, it's something that the customer is going to have to take care of on their end and get their computer looked at. All right. So if you have any questions, you can always email me, or just come over to my office and we'll get that answered for you. Thank you.